Hello and welcome to the studio. I'm Elena and this is Craving Creativity Club. I'm working hard to get everything ready for our first project, Changing Seasons. And I just wanted to drop this video here about sketchbooks to give you a bit of an idea of how you might use your sketchbook during our project. Before I get started though, I want to take a little moment to tell you a bit more about the upcoming project. Changing Seasons will be the first project for Craving Creativity Club and will be starting on the 1st of October in 2025. Following that, there'll be 10 sessions that are recorded and put on YouTube, and each session will drop around about 11 AM every Wednesday between the 1st of October and some point in December. If you're watching this after the 1st of October 2025, you can find all the videos in the playlist on my channel, and do consider subscribing so that you don't miss any further videos. Do comment if you have any questions or anything you'd like to add to the videos that I include. I love to hear what you say and I will reply to every comment made. Also, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up, and every comment and thumbs up will help me to be seen by more people on YouTube. All these videos are free for you to watch on YouTube and will remain so. However, if you'd like a little bit more input, you can join the membership on my website. You can find that at www.elenastorrer.uk and click the Craving Creativity Club logo. On this membership, you'll find a blog of art-related activities, as well as further support for every video that I post on here. Some weeks there'll be extra PDFs and printables. Other weeks there will be instructions about how to understand composition or use watercolour, for example. But every week during projects, there will be further ideas for art making related to the theme of that block. Not only that, during projects you will also get an email every week reminding you of what's coming up, the resources that you'll need, and where to find further information and the YouTube links. For the moment and until the end of 2025, it is free to join the membership, and it will remain so for founding members. So pop over to the website at www.elenastorrer.uk, click the Craving Creativity Club link and join us. And now on to this week's content, which is all about sketchbooks. These are just a few of my sketchbooks, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek into them to show you how I and other artists use sketchbooks and give you some ideas about how you can use a sketchbook practice to improve your own art making. So to begin with, I'd like to talk to you a bit about what a sketchbook can be and what it is definitely not. A sketchbook is essentially a book that you do sketches in, and that can be as simple as it gets. Just a book that you can take out and about with you or sit down with in your bedroom and make drawings in. However, it can also be much, much more than that. If you're committed to making your own art, to creating your own art practice, you need somewhere where you can collate your ideas, explore and experiment, practice and try out the things that you want to do, as well as evaluate how well you've done that. A sketchbook of this kind does not need to be beautifully neat and tidy. In fact, it can and should be really messy. You don't need to stick to one focus, although that can help. I certainly have a studio journal that I use for my general art practice, as well as a book of birds. And from time to time, I also keep a nature journal, which I will tell you a bit more about later on. Your sketchbook is not a place for neatness or correctness or perfection. It's a place for you to get messy, to try something out and fail, to try something out and like some of it and maybe not some of it. It's a place that it doesn't have to be just art. It could be lists of materials you want to try out. It could be descriptions of places you've been, or stories that you've written, poetry. It doesn't even have to be a book. Many people like to have a sketchbook that is more of a collection of loose sheets of paper that they keep in a folder. Or if you are a digital artist, your sketchbook actually might be online or tucked away in your computer somewhere. Your sketchbook can also be as private as you want it to be. You don't have to show it to anyone. You don't have to show it to your teachers, your parents, your friends, unless you want to. It's totally for you. Every artist needs a place to explore their ideas, and every artist in history has used a sketchbook of some kind, be that a book or sheets of paper or some other way of collecting their ideas together. So let's have a look now at some of the ways that you might use your sketchbook in order to extend and improve your own art practice. We're going to begin by thinking about the sketchbook as a place for exploration, a place to collect ideas, sketch, note down interesting things, stick in things that are interesting to you, and generally just making some visual notes. At this point in the recording, my microphone seems to have given up on me, so I'm going to try and remember what I was trying to tell you about at this point. So this is my first nature journal, which was in a Leuchtturm 1917, and I made it in 2017. And I reinforced the pages with washi tape because they're very thin. This is an excellent example of how a sketchbook can be used to just collect ideas. I've got just sketches, bits of writing about the time of year, photographs. I've stuck things in and just filled it with things that were interesting to me at the time. There's a bit of poetry there and paintings that I've done as well. And nature journaling is something that I come back to every now and then. So the next one I'm going to show you is actually from 2024, just last year. It's a different kind of nature journal from the book is from C. White, and it's a concertina journal. And I just did a drawing every week throughout the year. So the months are just written in approximately the right places. And the feel of the book changes as the year progresses. And then this is another book for collecting ideas. This is a Strathmore sketchbook, and this is my bird book, and it's just a book that I put in pictures of birds, so they could be drawings, paintings, or a combination of both. And I'm just experimenting with ways of expressing the bird form, the various levels of detail. Some of it, as you can see, is really sketchy. There's steps to how to draw a bird, extremely messy images. I think this is crows, just lots of different examples of crows and how they stand. And similarly, this is a book of butterflies that I began, where I'm just exploring the shapes of butterflies. And with this book, I was interested in the way that splashes of paint can kind of morph into butterfly shapes. I think you can see it best on this page, that I've used ink to just accentuate some of the butterfly shapes, and this became the butterfly splash project. I just made lots and lots of paintings that year. I think that was in 2021. The next books I'm going to show you are from my studio journals, which are just sketchbooks that I use throughout the year and just put all my ideas into. And first of all, something that I do quite often is make all these little thumbnail pictures of birds. They're all the same kind of bird. In this instance, they're all wrens, and I use photographs to copy from, and I just make really simple little sketches. And here I've been playing with paint alongside it as well. And the reason for these sketches is that I'm learning how the bird's shape goes together, how they hold their head, how they use their wings to fly, the different positions they can get themselves into. And an example here is how I can make notes alongside that for ideas of what I want to do next, and ideas for paintings that I want to create. And here we have another collection of bird images. These are swallows, which were for a commission that I've done. And then we also have a page of blue tits, a couple of pages of blue tits. And another thing I do is break up bits of the bird so that the areas that I find tricky I can practice, like in this instance the wing and the shapes of the claws for this field fair. And this can lead to images like this. This is a direct copy of this photograph, which is by Les Liddell, who kindly allows artists to use his photographs as reference images for their paintings. And it's just a gorgeous jackdaw. So my sketchbook was perfect for putting that in. I might also try different materials while I'm exploring a subject. So these are Alstroemeria, and I've just drawn them with various graphite, ink, charcoal. I think there's soluble graphite in there. I've used ink washes as well. Just lots of different ways of exploring the shape of the flowers. Another kind of exploration I might make is juxtaposition of different materials. So this is a starling with watercolour and metallic ink right next to it. Obviously I haven't finished this picture, and I don't think I needed to. All it was to give me an idea of how the graphite and the watercolour and ink might work together. And I also play with materials that I don't normally use. So this is collage, and I've photocopied pictures of feathers and then used Mod Podge to transfer those images onto the collaged page. I'm not sure how well it worked, but I learned a lot doing it. And this is watercolour with some added salt, and then I've drawn over the top of it to make a blackberry vine. Again, just experimenting with materials. A few weeks ago I managed to attend a class run by another local artist and try out some materials that I don't use very often. This is soft pastels and some very sketchy shapes of flowers, and also in colours that I don't use very often. Sometimes my sketches have colour studies next to them, like these magnolias. So I've drawn the magnolias from life, but then gone back and used some watercolour to test some colours. Similarly, I've got this idea for sunset colours. This was for a swallow painting that I was making. So I'm testing out colours that would make good sunset colours. And I've made a load of little landscape abstract-y images, and also stuck in photos of sunsets just to remind me of how they look and what I'm aiming for with my colour studies. And I've labelled to show what paints I've used so that I can go back and use them again in the future. This is another example of how you might use your sketchbook to explore colour. I've taken this image out of a magazine. It's just a torn out image from a magazine. I've written Dale Rogers Ammonite, so I think it is part of a painting maybe, or a sculpture that's been in one of the art magazines I follow. And then I've used the colours. I've taken the idea of colours and light from this to have a go at creating something not the same but with a similar feel to it on the page of my sketchbook. Another form of exploration you might use your sketchbook for is to explore the art of people that you admire, the art that you love, and to really think about what it is that you like about it. So one thing that I like to do in January or the end of December of every year is to go through my Pinterest board of images that I've saved and print them out and stick in my favourites into my book. And also not just that, but also to write a bit about what I like and what I would like to do to take that further. This is an example of taking the whole idea of that a little bit further. I've got some work print-offs that of Sarah Yeoman's beautiful watercolour bird paintings, and also some photographs by Charlotte Bellamy. So they're just like little thumbnail printouts. Oh, and these are Jay Stevens photographs as well of birds in flight, which is something that I really like to explore, and so I'm looking at how other artists have gone about that. Other artists that I really like is Laura Andrew, who's done pictures like these. So having a go at how she makes those paintings, so looking at the technique. And obviously I'm not going to do it to the standard that she has, because this is her idea, but this is how artists develop, by looking at other people's work. And it's something that artists have done across history, is drawn and painted after other people have drawn and painted, so that you can better understand their technique and how they're using the paint, with a view to not copying their work, but to amalgamating those ideas into your own work. This is a piece that I've been working on recently. It's by nowhere near finished. I've discovered that the way that Mucha painted, and he was a lithograph printer really, the way that he created the lines for hair, that is really hard. But it's something that I'm quite interested in, all that line work with the muted soft colours as well. So it's something that I'm currently exploring, and so it's gone into my sketchbook. Sketchbooks are also really useful for working out problems with your own art. So for example, compositional problems. I have here lots of birds that I have drawn onto tracing paper, which can then be superimposed on top of each other to get the idea of a flock moving across the sky. And I then used that idea to take that a bit further, and this later became my Joyfield Sky painting of jackdaws. Here you can see this was an idea for tiles for a kitchen, and the person I was talking to really liked delphiniums and forget-me-nots. And so I've gone from these very, very sketchy drawings, very sketchy sketches. There's a little plan of how 4 tiles might go together to make the basic idea, and some colour swatches, and then taken that so that I've made like a small mock-up of what that might look like as a group of tiles. This is colour ideas for buttercups in a field, which I later became a curlew painting that I've done. So I've actually made a collection of little composition images of curlews and curlew chicks as well, from the looks of that, to get an idea of how I would like to organise that image. Similarly, this is something I quite enjoy doing, is working with charcoal to make murmuration shapes, and then adding in birds. So again, this is exploring the composition of images. And similarly with paint, these are actually paintings I've done, and I've photocopied them, cut them out and stuck them into my book, and then added information about what I'd like to do next, what I enjoyed about it. Like this one I've written, I like the sense of speed. I need to add blown splashes that keep the direction of flight. There's little notes about what colours I've used. So I've used Naples yellow in this one and Payne's grey, and Aussie red gold and Payne's grey in this one. Of evaluation that is also a really useful and important part of sketchbook work. It's not just a collection of ideas, it's not just an exploration of your materials and your responses to the inspiration and how the materials work. It's also an evaluation of what you've done and how you feel about it and what you want to do more of. So this is my best of 2023, which is from the beginning of my 2024 sketchbook. And I've just printed out images that I really liked that I did in 2023, stuck them in and put some notes about why I really like those images, what it was about them that I enjoyed, whether I enjoyed painting them or whether I enjoy the effects once they were finished. Similarly with this page, I've taken one painting that I've worked on and gone into quite a lot of detail about what was happening with it. And it's a painting that I actually gave up on. I've got it stashed away. I might come back to it one day, you never know. I was trying to get the feel of many birds all together in a murmuration at the same time. And I think I was getting there, but it just became very complicated. But I've written out loads of information about what I liked about it, what was working well, what I would like to do more of, and also stuck in images to illustrate my meaning when it comes to all of these ideas. So that is another really important way that sketchbooks can be used to evaluate your own work. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that overview of how you might use sketchbooks to improve your art making. I hope you found that useful. During the Craving Creativity Club projects, I will be showing you how you can use your sketchbook more effectively and helping you work through some of these ideas that I've touched on today. If you are curious and you would like to see more of my sketchbooks, do drop me a comment and I will put in some flick-throughs of some of my sketchbooks. Just a quick reminder before I go that the Craving Creativity Club project, the first one, Changing Seasons, begins on October 1st, which is a Wednesday. The YouTube video will drop at 11 AM GMT. And it is free. You can watch it. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss it, and let any friends you have who you think might be interested know as well. It would be great if you can like this video if you've enjoyed what you've seen, and that helps me to get better known by the YouTube community. And if you would like to join my membership whilst it is free, you've got until the end of 2025 to do so. You can find it at www.elenastorra.uk and click on the Craving Creativity Club logo. And there you'll find the blog, the project pages, extra PDFs and resources that you might enjoy using over the next few weeks. Bye for now. I'm looking forward to seeing you again very soon.